We are back, y'all. We are back. I don't know what's going on. But we know that when we try to do something great or good, the enemy will come in and try to kill, steal, and destroy the whole mindset or the whole ordeal. We have to be mindful of that. But God is faithful. He is faithful. Good morning, Willis Smith. God bless you. God bless you all. God bless you all. As you all know, the first video we did was with the youth because we wanted to have the youth's opinion on a lot of things. We want to have the youth outtake on a lot of things, and a lot of things that I teach my sons and daughters how to be people of understanding. People of understanding, people of respect. But we have to be mindful of what we are doing, how we are doing it in this season. We can easily be drawn by different things, and we can easily be drawn by showing children something that they don't need to do, or showing a display of wisdom that they don't need to display themselves. So we have to be mindful of how we do these things. God is faithful. God is a mighty God. God is everything that we need, but we begin to allow the things of the world to destroy our mindsets. We don't know who we are half of the time, but we have to be mindful of who God is. I thank God for my sons. I could have had any other sons, but I have these two sons. A lot of days are not great days with them, but I thank God for the days that I have with them, because God is a faithful God. He's a gracious God, and He gives us what we need in this season. So a lot of times we look at the youth and we say that this generation is so messed up. This generation is gone. We don't have no more hope for this generation. Well, we need to get away from that mindset. We got to get away from that mindset, and we got to be mindful of who we are talking about and what we're saying, because we're planting seeds into the atmosphere that's going to become a harvest. So we have to be mindful of that. I'm going to let my son, Richard, come on in and say what he needs to say, and just tell you all a little bit about his school, tell you all some of the things that's going on in the school that he don't like, some of the things that he hoping and praying that would change, so that we can be mindful of the youth. We have to give the youth that opportunity to speak. And a lot of times they're not able to speak because we won't give them that opportunity. But I'm going to step out the way because it's not big enough for all of us to be on the same thing. So I'm going to let Richard can come in. Richard going to come over and talk to you all and let you all know some things.
Good morning. As you know, my name is Rashad, and things I like about my school is that it's a male school, and with it being a male school, it teaches us to be. They are teaching us to be young men of God, and young men that are willing, and hopefully it change that. One day it can go to the 12th grade. We can have football. Another thing, hopefully it can change is that a lot of people get some chances to do things because a lot of them don't have fathers, and a lot of them don't have any. Well, they have things. They're fortunate, but they don't have a lot. And so I try. I hang. When we go to school, talk to Danny. Everybody knows Danny. You usually call him Larry. And what our generation has to do is be obedient to our parents, and learn to do what's right the first time. When our parents ask us something, I think they already know if we did or didn't do it. And I passed it.
Robert, what do you think one of the problems is that's causing the youth to be disrespectful in the school system now?
What's causing them to be disrespectful is that, first, the teachers come in with a mindset of we have a lot of kids, so first period and second period, they pretty much don't care. So most of them, be honest for you, they there for the check, so they pretty much don't care. And so the second thing is some of the teachers try to act young, therefore instead of older, and some of the people, teachers, try to act as they still are young and try to be the students' friends instead of the teacher and the parent at that moment. And so therefore the teachers, instead of teaching, they try to discriminate the kids because of his history, because of his past, because of he did this, he came from this school, he got this many officers, or he's a bad kid and all. And so they discriminate them by saying, hey, this child right here is already bad. And then what makes it the whole situation bad is they go gospel about the student. And so that creates a lot of negative problems, and they create a lot of stuff that don't need to be displayed. And also what's going on in these schools that's really is terrifying is that nobody want to stand up for the will of God. Nobody want to try to bring prayer back into school. Like, everybody say we want prayer back into school, but what have we done so far to try to bring prayer back into school? What are some things that we did to try to make a meeting about this or something like that? And if we look at from when they took prayer out of school, and then look at now when they did take prayer out of school, when they then took prayer out of school, it looks way better than when they did. And so we always say we want this and that, but we don't put in the work to do with it. And so just like me, I always say that I want to stay fit and stuff like that. But if I don't put in the work to be fitted, if I don't put in the work to work out every day, if I don't put in the work to stop eating unhealthy, it's okay to eat unhealthy sometimes, but it's best for our health to stay off the sugars and the drinks and stuff like that, because that'll get you kidney stone and a lot of more stuff and a lot of more problems. And so I'm just here for the youth. I'm here to let God use me.
Someone said, how are you helping to make things better from Tish from Tennessee?
I'm helping by first, at my school I ran for chaplain, and I won that, and so I'm making a difference by every morning I try to sow a seed to somebody. I don't care if it's the same person. If it's just one person, we can have 1,000 people on this live feed. If I just get one or probably 4 people that can listen to me, that's really gonna do the will of God, then I'm pretty much good. And so also what I've been doing is speaking in different places, trying to motivate kids, because nowadays it's like when you go to the schools to speak to them, the adults, there's nothing wrong with the adults speaking, but it's some adults that just use that speaking to try to mess with the kids or try to tease the kids. And so sometimes I see when my dad go up and to speak at schools, he don't get up there and try to throw backlash against the kids or say, oh, well, it says honor thy mother and thy father, and he don't. And see, that's the thing about some adults. They repeat some of the scriptures, but they don't repeat the whole thing. And that's the thing about honor thy mother and thy father. They'll say that part, and then they'll cut that other part off. But you can't do that with God, where you got to read the whole thing. If you're gonna read some of it, you got to read all of it. And that's like if I'm eating. If I order this, I'm gonna eat all of it. And I ain't gonna eat some of it and then say I don't want it. That's a waste of time. And, we do need a lot of young people that's the will of God. But it's not about just forcing them to do the will of God. It's forcing them to just love on them. Just like when they was little, you used to do a lot of stuff with them. But now that we up and most, like right now, it's probably a lot of young people that's about to graduate. just sow a seed in them to what they need to do. Cause when you peer pressure a young person to do something, 9 out of 10 they gonna wait until they up in the age, about 12th grade or something like that, and when they graduate, they just gonna let free, and then they gonna do their free will and stuff like that. And like, look at a lot of the incidents that happen. They wait until they get this inch, and then they take a mile with it. Some people say, why the youth is so bad, why youth do this and that, because they have nothing to do. If you look at what the young person was actually doing, and you look at how he was at home, he was doing this and that, and then you ask yourself why this young person did this, why this young person killed himself, even though that's not of God, to kill yourself, but you just want to be realistic about this situation. If we start speaking the truth to the youth and start telling them the truth about really what's happening instead of sugarcoating everything, then some youth will stand up and do the right thing. Some youth will stand up in their school and tell that joker or that clown to stop clowning. And the reason why most people joke, because they probably feeling bad in the morning. They need somebody to encourage them. So they need a little joke and a little laugh and a little breather. They don't need an adult to come in a classroom and just decease that young person, instead of just taking them to the side and saying that, hey, this is not right. This is not going to get you there, and this. And so I'm going to pass it my dad.
Can you explain to me what Ecclesiastes 12:1 says? One of you all.
It says, remember now that I created the days like you before the evil days come. God was our...
What does that mean to you? Remember now that I created before the evil days come, in the days that I used before the evil days come.
What that means to me is that God was telling us that these days like nowadays were going to come, and telling us to remember now. So when we get older and we have a situation we don't know what to do, we can always come to God, because He will always be there. And He will always be there.
So this is one thing. So if somebody's in your classroom acting a fool, what is your job to do as a young person with wisdom and knowledge? What is your job? What are you entitled to do?
My job is to. He said if
somebody acting a fool in school, somebody acting a certain type of way in school, what is your job to do? What do you need to do to make them better?
To make them better, if they see me doing what I'm supposed to do and I'm getting good benefits from it, and to make them better, I'll probably, if we're at PE or something and we have a little free time to talk, I'll probably say, hey man, you shouldn't be doing that. I don't think your parents raised you that way. We need to put on the will of God. I encourage them and talk to them every day, because a lot of people sometimes don't have people to talk to, and the reason why they act a fool because they don't get any attention at home.
So I have another question. Do you think that the teachers nowadays in the school systems, are they teachers that want to see the children succeed, or they're teachers that's led by money?
I remember I think some of them are led by money, but some of them are trying to teach. Though when I was in the 3rd grade, I think I'm not gonna say the teacher name, but okay, every day I came in her class, and sometimes I didn't understand. So when I did not understand, she told me one day, she said, I got my degree. What's this saying called when they say I got my
degree, you gotta get yours.
Yeah. It says I got my degree, you want to get yours. And basically some teachers are trying to cheat. Some teachers are just there for the check, to get the check, and don't really care about the kids. If they acting a fool and they can't maintain their class, they'll just let the kids do anything. But with them teaching for them to learn, yeah, like Janice Tate said, most of them are leading by money. A lot of them only there for the money, but some kids are there to learn. And the kids that are disrupting the class, you can't learn anything, then yeah.
what I think is that you have your watered down teachers, and then you have your teachers that's there to teach the young kids something, that's try to prophesy to them and, you know, try to be there for them. But, you know, most of the teachers nowadays, I mean, they like to lecture a lot, like to talk a lot. And so, therefore, if you in a school where your teacher is just talking, and never asks the young people, or how maybe one day, how do you want to be taught? You know, how can you learn this better? You know, I had one of the teachers when I was in elementary, because I used to love sports a lot, mainly football, and so I never could get math, and so what they try to do is, I mean, what the teacher did for me is, she always used to, when she do the algebra thing, she'll say, if this football player got this so many yards, then what would that equal, or what put the variable in there, and I will understand it. But, you know, most teachers, like, you get it or you don't get it. If you wanna come in, if you wanna come in class and joke, and for the question my dad answered, or what I would do, I wouldn't approach him too much like my brother would approach him. I mean, I would approach him like, hey man, I started off with a little joking and stuff like that, and then I get into him, and then I tell him like, hey man, that you know what you did earlier in class, that went right, and you know you shouldn't be joking. And I feel your pain. You know, sometimes you feel like you just got to do this for attention, but you know that's the reason why most young people do stuff. They do that for attention, but you know we have to be mindful of the things that we do as we young, because they are written down in the book of life.
So, do you think that the young people can change by young people that have changed in the same area? Do y'all believe that the young people's y'all voice are not heard through teachers because of the age difference, or what is going on? What do y'all think is going on that's causing the children to act the way that they're acting in school? I ask you this question first. Do you think that a child that's able to remember a rap, remember a dance, do you think that same child can be a positive person and speak positive words?
Yes, a lot. You said, yeah. Yes, they can. Some of them listen to rap and they can learn to sound like this, but then when they get in church, they can't do anything. Sometimes they probably think they can't do it because some people don't understand them and what they're doing.
So what do you? So if I have a hat on and glass on, would that make me a different dad? Would that make me less than a man of God if I just place, let me see the hat and these glasses. So if I place this hat on my head, and then if I place these glasses on my face, does that make me a different man of God?
No, sir.
So when you in the classroom and a child come in and they're a certain way or they're different, do that makes them different because they are dressed different than you?
No, sir. That's another things that are going on in the school. Like somebody can come in with some raggedy shoes on, and everybody gonna joke on them. But they can be the smartest guy in the classroom. And this guy named Kingdom, he goes to my school, and he loves math. Every time you see him, he doing math. He'll make a game out of math. He just love math, and so a lot of kids they like talk about him. But he really is going to be a mathematician when he gets older because he loves math. He strives to make an A on the test every time. That's that's the kind of people I try to hang around, like people like him.
So do y'all believe that whoever you hang around is what you'll become?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because if you hang around with a bunch of people that think they are nobodies, you know, pretty much, you know, that can rub off on you one day, you know. just the feeling of, or you hang around somebody that's depressed. You know, you'll be happy as I don't know what. And then every time you come around that person, then you look at him and then you ask him why he's so depressed. And then a couple of days later, you're in that same situation. But, you know, we have to watch our surroundings as well as we have to pray.
You have to watch as well as pray. No.
It was a pastor here trying to join the live feed.
Okay. So this is what we have to understand, everybody. We have to be mindful of our youth. My boys know that I love them. I would do anything for them, but I don't deal with foolishness from them because I know that they are smarter, they are wiser. They should be able to display a different wisdom. So when I see something going a certain way, I'm going to step in. I'm going to say, hey, son, you know, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be acting that way. You shouldn't be doing that. But a lot of times in the generation that's coming up now, a lot of parents are not teaching their children that, hey, you know, I'm the parent, you're the child. A lot of parents are being their children's friend, and what it's causing them is they're causing them to act a certain type of way. So then when your friends get around, your people get around, and first thing you want to do is you want to play mama. You want to play daddy. And those children know that. And my children know that I want the best for them. That's why I sit down and I talk to them and I speak to them, because I know that they're smarter than what they try to do, and I teach them to be leaders and not followers. But I just wanted my young boys to come on this morning so that you all can see from a young person perspective and an older person perspective. We have to be the parent that we need to be. I love my children, but I'm not going to be my children's friend. I'm going to be their parent. I'm going to be there and tell them, hey, you don't need to do this. This is going to cause this. I'm going to let them know what can happen. But a lot of times we as parents, you're your child's friend, so now you sharing secrets and things with your children that you shouldn't share with them. You doing things with your children that you shouldn't do with them. And what it's doing is messing them up. So when they get out in the world, nobody can't deal with them. Nobody can't be around them. Nobody can't cope with them because they're messed up from the household. So we have to be mindful of what we do and the wisdom that we display. Now, a lot of pastors and teachers and preachers, they won't allow children to do young people's day in church because the first thing that they say is that they're not ready. So how can I allow my child to understand that he don't need to play at the playground on all the rides, and that he don't need to do everything that they see everybody else do if he don't get hurt? You can't carry a child to the playground and catch them every time they slide down the slide, and catch them every time they come across the monkey bars. We have to let them know and let them know from experience that, hey, I don't need to do this. I don't need to go here. I don't need to go there. That's the only way that they're going to be able to learn these lifelong issues. We can raise a child up. We can say that the youth is no good. We can say that this generation is no good. But who is to blame for the generation in this day and time? In this 2017 year, who is to blame for the children's behavior? The way that they act, the way that they carry themselves. Who is to blame? So I raised my children up to understand. My wife and I, we're on them. We're constantly on them, telling them, hey, you don't need to do this. You don't need to go there. You don't need to say this. You don't need to do that. Don't try to be a follower. Don't try to do this. Don't try to do that. Be leaders. And it helps out a lot. But then when they get in a place where a child like me, I don't curse at my children. I don't curse at my children. I don't down my children. I correct them. I'm going to correct them. Whatever they do, I'm going to correct them. So when a child gets to school and a teacher is cursing at them like a sailor, and a teacher is disrespecting them, and they know they don't receive it at home, so a child going to feel a certain type of way because they don't know how to adjust to that. You know, daddy don't do it, mama don't do it, so why should I accept it coming from them? So now you have a parent or a teacher or a person that's provoking a child to their wrath. We have to understand this. We have to learn how what God tells in Proverbs 22:6. What does Proverbs 22:6 say?
Train up a child the way he or she should go, and when they get older, they won't depart from it.
Train up a child the way it should go. When they get older, they won't depart from it. We have to learn how to train children up in the way that they can go, in the way that they're going to help them increase in life, increase in the wisdom and understanding that they need, instead of just telling them and buying them the latest Jordan, buying them the latest iPad, buying them the latest phone, buying them the latest outfit, buying them the latest thing, and they won't even take the garbage out. My boys, I don't have to tell them to get up and, hey, y'all need to take the garbage out. This is the day that the garbage comes to the road. I don't have to tell them that. I don't have to tell them to clean your room. Hey, y'all need to clean your room. Now, I don't have to tell them that. The dogs, I don't have to tell them to feed the dog, because they know that this is what I have to do. If I want this and I want that and I want to go here and I want to go there, I have a job to do. So we have to teach them accountability and responsibility at a young age so that they can grow into this thing called life, so that they will be able to function when they get out on their own. We have to be mindful of that. And nowadays, that the way that the young teachers carry themselves in the classroom is unreal. Is unreal. What is that?
Oh no, I was saying, shout out to Brother Henry too, because Brother Henry, he be posting a lot of stuff, and I join his live feed some days, and I encourage him to keep doing the will of God, and that from our family that we love him. Like he sends me some messages some days, to check on me, and I thank God for him just being here.
So does anybody have any questions for the young boys this morning? Does anybody have any question for the young boys this morning? Does anybody have any questions this morning for the young boys? Say, ask them, do they have any questions?
Does anybody have any questions today for us young men? Any questions? No.
No cause and gave love by the sticks.
Mine was, hi, my name is one, and I have two contracts. I have to tell them.
It says, listen, it says, hi, my name is Renita. I have my two grandsons, 12 and 13. I have to tell them over and over again what they need to do. What would you suggest? One of y'all answer that. Go ahead, Sean, answer that.
For
the question, Renita.
For the question for Miss Renita Fisher, telling them, when you said you have to constantly keep telling them, some days before they go to school, ask them, talk to them, give them a word of encouragement before school. Ask them different questions about school. Check on them. Just pop up at the school one day and sit in class with them. Eat lunch with them one day. Make them feel good one day. They won't expect it.
Okay. Well, my internet just started working.
That's
so,
it. What do you plan on doing after graduation? Let Sean answer first.
Miss Tish asks, what do I plan to do after graduation? After graduation, I've set two goals: either go to the Air Force or train hard enough, because it's not guaranteed that I make it into the NFL, but I will strive to maybe make it to the NFL, because a lot of people don't make it. So I have two backup plans: go to the Air Force for computer and technology, and things like that. And for the NFL, I will when I get ready to go to college, I'll sign up for some colleges. Yeah, sign up for some colleges. Do some what's it called? After graduation, in high school, since we're about to come up with a football team, I'll train harder than I ever did before for the scouts to come look at me. If that doesn't work, I'll go into the Air Force.
My plan is to, well, first, I want to thank Mr. Williams. My internet just started working, so I just got his message about, he was encouraging me too. And so there's a lot of them that encourage me daily, and I thank y'all for encouraging me. My plan is to go to a college and get my bachelor's degree in physical education. And you might say, why a young man want a bachelor's degree in physical education? Because most young men start off at in sports and stuff like that. And so if I feel that if I can encourage them doing football practice, or I can encourage them during basketball season, or I can encourage them in the classrooms, then maybe a lot of this stuff or situations can change. But anyways, so I'm gonna get my bachelor's degree in physical education, and then I plan on going to college for 4 years. Then after that, either I might go to the Army or the Air Force.
Any more questions? Any more questions? Any more? Does anybody have any more questions for us? NFL. What position? I strive to play quarterback. I strive to play running back. Whatever I'm best at. I tried out for quarterback, and I guess I didn't practice enough. But I tried. At least I tried, because I tried. Yeah, I tried. Whatever the Lord gives into me, and I'm best at.
Well, I can answer the question that Miss Tish asked us. Yes, I do think I can hold myself up without my parents. Well, basically, my parents, they raised me up to be a man of understanding, a man of, like, whatever I don't do in front of my parents, then I shouldn't display that around when I'm at somebody else's house, or if I'm over talking to somebody. I should always subscribe to do what's right, even when nobody's watching. But you gotta realize God is watching too.
Mr. Randy Henry asks, what football team are you going to play for? Going to be on? Are you talking about high school or college?
What's your 60 meter split time? What's your 60 meter split time?
Oh, he's quick. He said, what football team I'm going to play on for high school? Hopefully I continue to play for Valiant Cross Academy for college. I want to go to Auburn, Oregon, or LSU. Any more questions? What's your 60 meters? You said, what's my six? Miss Wanda asks, what's your
60 meters.
What's
Split
your
time.
60 meters split time?
Yeah.
We haven't done none of that yet, but we do this thing where we get in a track, like a track position. It's called, you put your finger on the floor and put your hand behind the back, like you are finna give somebody something. But we get in that and we just run. We work out every day. We do fundamentals every day. Me and my brother and my dad work out, lift weights, and stuff like that. Any more questions? Anybody got any more questions?
Tell them about your comment label on YouTube.
Yeah, all y'all can go follow me on YouTube. And I forgot my YouTube name. But y'all can follow me on YouTube. I'm gonna start vlogging. It's soon. Things that we do, like things like this, I'll start vlogging. As a young person, do you find? You say? I'm gonna start vlogging, but
do you find it hard to live safe?
It's not hard to live safe. It's a time and a place for everything. Like my dad always tells us, it's a time and a place for everything.
Well, it's hard sometimes, but we have to deal with what we accept in it.
Any more questions? I'm trying to find my YouTube name. I followed you yesterday.
It's Yo Boy Short.
Your boy Sean.
It says Yo Boy. I think I changed it yesterday. I don't know what I changed it to. Curtis changed it.
It's the same name.
Y'all can follow me on YouTube at Yo Boy Shot.
Subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna do a vlog today with my spiritual family.
My YouTube channel, I used to do gaming on mine. Mine's Robert L. Lion _ #1. Lion is not spelled Lion. I spell it Lyon.
Why is it hard? What should you do to help yourself to live safe? It's not hard. It's what you put your mind to. Basically, if you have shit. What was the question again?
No, my friend.
She said, I'm trying to put up the question.
Okay. It says, why is it hard, and what should you do to help yourself live safe?
What should you do to help yourself live safe? You should pray. Every morning before you get up, you should pray. You should strive to read your word. You should do things of God. Like bro said, if you don't do it around our parents, we shouldn't do it around other people. You find it hard to live safe in school? No, ma'am. Well, you probably have to ask my brother that because, well, it depends on what we're doing. Say if we if Mr. Prop plays like some Christian rap, he'll let us get loose a little bit, but you gotta know how to turn it on and turn it off. That's what he always tells us.
From my way is that in school, like it's just some days when you just not gonna feel like doing anything, and there's some days that you feel like you just excited, and but we as people, we have to do what we got to do. And so that's like my mom and dad. Some days they be tired, and some days we not gonna want to go to work, but we got to do what we got to do to get what we want and to have in this world. And so we just need to continue to pray and trust in God.
Any more questions? Anybody have any more questions?
I'm trying to let them run this live feed today. So you all just act as if it's me on the live feed and y'all ask them questions, or y'all have some deep questions, I'll step in and answer it for them. But I want them to get prepared because it's going to be a youth summit live thing that I'm going to start where we're going to pull in your sons and your daughters so they will be able to talk to them on the live feed and give feedback on different things. Not a long session now. When you click in, you're not going to be on for 5 and 10 minutes. We want to try to keep it mindful because you don't have them so long on the live feed to do a lot of different things. So we want them to kind of get ready for the next level. See, we have to learn how to walk in the next level before we step in the next level. God is a faithful God, and I thank God for what He's doing.
That's right here.
What?
She said,
what? Miss
Lauren?
Miss Lorraine Ellie said, what do you do when your unsaved friend try to get you to do what they're doing? What I would do, things like this, my dad asks us, what I would do if he try to get me to do something that I'm not doing, it depends on what he's trying to do, but if I know it's unsafe and I know it's not right, I wouldn't do it. Because Jesus was once tempted, so if your friend tries to get you to do drugs and you do drugs and you go tell the police or your mom and dad that he kept tempting me and I didn't know what to do. Jesus was once tempted and you saw what he did.
What I would do is, pray for them each and every day. I would not be hard on them. I would tell them that they are wrong. But you don't want to tell somebody something too harsh because you will lose them. You don't have a certain amount of time to talk to someone before they just look at you and they be listening to you. Or they don't be listening to you. It's just like they're in a sleep rest mode because like they'll be looking dead at you, but they don't. It just go through one ear and then go out the other. So.
Anybody got any more questions?
Oh yeah, I got it from my Facebook page. That's what I was doing. But yeah, if any youth have any question or anything, they can just follow me and ask me any questions, or if anybody need any question or anything, we can do any. Y'all can just hit me up. Just ask me questions.
You said.
Well, it's a lot. Sometimes it's a lot of peer pressure because, when you're a father, as an ordained minister, you have to have a role where you got to be under control. That means like in school, sometimes it's gonna be hard. There's gonna be some teachers that tempt you. Trust me, there's gonna be some teachers that tempt you. But you don't want your parents to get called all day, and you just got to pray for them teachers because it's a lot of stuff that's going on in this world, but if we read our Bible in Revelation, God told us that all this was coming, but nobody didn't want to listen, so He warned us before destruction.
Any more questions? Any more questions? Anybody has any more questions?
Do they like my teaching?
I got one question. Do y'all like my father his teachings on Facebook?
Yeah, say it again.
I have one question for y'all. Do y'all like my father's teachings? Do y'all like him being on Facebook? Does he encourage y'all to do great things with God? I said, do y'all like my dad? Miss Daniela Bonner said, yes, we love the teachings. Great encouragement. Great encouragement. God delivers so many messages. Would y'all like me and my brother to come on the live feed once again sometime?
Do you believe in doing secular? Hold on.
It's just second.
What that
Do
mean?
you believe secular music like rap?
Rap? It depends. Not gonna tell y'all any stories. Me and my brother sometimes. What do
What do you do about girls? And how do you deal with the school? Y'all must have did
No,
something,
sir.
y'all. Oh, no. Y'all got it.
What I'm gonna say about the girl situation is no girls in my school. Focus on my schoolwork right now. So no, that's this guy right here. Y'all might want to ask him those questions.
So,
That's
for the young people about the girl situation, you know, just like you gotta don't not take it a mile now. If you ask your parents something and then they say yes, don't take it a mile. But you know, we gotta grow up someday, and we don't want to take a mile. But you know, if you do have that girl or somebody, you know, make sure you're doing the will of God. Make sure you're sowing the seed of God, and not doing anything that's wrong. But you know, I have no comment about the question about that girl thing.
Any more questions?
They probably don't want to answer about them girls because they daddies.
No,
That's
sir.
probably, I believe that's what it is.
No, sir. I see. Do y'all have any more questions?
What's going on?
Y'all have any more questions for us? Yeah, ask us about some girls.
We have a special guest for y'all this morning. I'm gonna stand up and let her sit down. God bless y'all.
Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing on this beautiful, blessed, amazing God's morning? Our youth are so important, you guys. We need to make a collected effort to try to have youth summits all over the country because, golly, hold up. This is an important call.
Yeah, just say do you want to task Miss List?
She's coming back, y'all.
She coming back. She had an important call. But if y'all got any more questions? Yeah, about the girl situation, y'all might want to ask this guy because, no. Jeez. Good morning, Mr. Randy.
Evangelist.
Oh, you know Mr. Oh.
I can't share the video. I mean, it's just so.
Y'all got any questions for us? I can't even get my two sons, but one of them loves. What did I say? No girls and brothers.
I can't even get my two sons, but one of my sons love God. Another boy and my girls doesn't believe. They think God is a hateful man to do evil people because of love and money. Well,
You didn't even read this.
I got.
It says I can't
I see what you're trying to
even get my son going on some other type of other boys. I don't think that's true. Probably just got a prophet costume.
I see. Hey, Miss Wanda, how are you? Blessings unto you. I hope you guys was inspired about what they told you because there's a lot of stuff that is going on and we need to address this because a lot of stuff is being swept under the rug. That's why we lose our youth because we don't have anything to give to the youth. So I'm challenging anybody in any area. If you are for real about doing a youth summit, let's get it done. Let's advertise. Let's market it. Let's get something for the youth because they are our future. Back then, yeah. Why do youth do so many different things? That be your question is because a lot of times we don't want to settle down and do anything with them.
Miss,
What do you say if you get in a fight where you turn the other cheek?
well,
That's a good question.
if we get it, well, I
That's for you.
That's a trick one, you know. Hopefully they will turn the other cheek. They'll walk away and get the authorities involved. But we know a lot of times that that's not the case. They go toe and toe with folks. But, you know, it all depends on I guess that was a question for them, but I'm praying to God that they'll walk away. I bless God, man. It's such a privilege and an honor just to sit down to listen to the youth, listen to what they having to say, because they are our future, and we have to really, really, really stop what we're doing. See, a lot of y'all want to deal with some people that are already set in their ways. There's no change going to take place for them because they set in their ways. But we got youth that are coming up that we can empower them with more and more of God's love, God's grace, and everything, and teach them in the ways of God. You know, y'all saying, oh, the youth out of control. They don't have this, they don't have that. But what do we have to offer to them as a body of Christ? Let's be honest. The Circular have a lot of stuff. Trust me, they have events all the time that your youth want to go to, but you don't want to listen to them. You think their ideas are crazy. You don't want them to do anything. You just want them to come to Sunday school. Let's have a youth explosion. But then that's it. And some of y'all don't have time for the youth. It's all about y'all agendas and y'all programs. But I challenge you right now this morning to stand up to the plate and call youth summits, youth gathering, youth explosions, and allow them to tell you what's really going on. Don't think their ideas of what they saying is crazy, because that's why we have suicidal rate up. That's why we have teen pregnancy up. That's why we have a lot of stuff, because we don't empower our youth to move forward in God. But it's time now that we as a collected whole get together and do something a little different than we normally would do. They say what you feel about police and how they treat you. Well, I can't really talk about how police treat anybody. I would get it to them because I work hand in hand with law enforcement on every level. And a couple of times I got stopped and I was afraid, but I just allowed God to switch up the conversation, and that's how. I can't speak on something that I really don't know too much about, because I work hand in hand with law enforcement. But I'm challenging you people that are on here that's grown. Let's do something, and let's see what God has to do and how God will take us with these youth. Let's get our youth back. Let's do that. You guys have a blessed day. I love y'all. Thank y'all for the invite.
You just got done hearing from Ms. Adams. What was the question that?
They asked you about the police.
What would I do about the
police?
About police? Father and mother talked to us about that. Not all cops are bad. Not all other skin cops are bad. It depends on if you treat them with kindness and do everything they say. That's the best thing to do. It's just if you getting pulled over and you feel that you ain't doing anything, pray to God, call somebody, get somebody on the phone, and yeah. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, tell them if they get ready to end the live feed.
We're about to get ready to end the live feed. Hope y'all had a blessed day. With the questions. We'll be back soon.
Just that we'll talk to y'all later.
We'll talk to y'all later. We're about to end the live feed.